Hello. Welcome to the Candidate Forum Committee's Candidate Forum. I am Clay Hutchinson, the current chairman of the Darien-McIntosh County Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the Chamber Board of Directors and the Candidate Forum Committee, I would like to thank the City of Darien for allowing us to host this forum in the David Bluestein Room here in Darien City Hall. We would also like to thank Darien Communications for airing this event live tonight, as well as videoing the event to be aired on Local Access Channel 18. We will post the dates and times of when it can be viewed as soon as they are available. All candidates, whether running opposed or unopposed, were invited to participate tonight. The candidates that are not present tonight all respectively declined the invitation. As you know, one of the candidates is currently working for the Chamber of Commerce. To ensure that the forum is impartial, a Candidate Forum Committee was formed to handle all of the details for tonight's event. All participating candidates received the same information via email at the same time. Tonight's questions were given to the Candidate Forum Committee from Chamber members and other members of the community. Each candidate was given 10 questions in advance, and we will be asking 5 questions for each group from the 10 questions provided. The 5 questions that are being asked tonight were selected by an anonymous person and were not known to anyone participating or any committee member until tonight. All right, some guidelines for the forum. Each candidate will introduce themselves and give an opening statement in which a 3-minute time limit will be allowed. After opening statements, each candidate will receive questions and will have up to 2 minutes to respond to each question. No rebuttals will be allowed. Our timekeeper will advise the candidate when they have 30 seconds remaining, and then when time is up, if required. When no time is left, the candidate must stop immediately. The questions were given to all candidates, again, in advance to allow each candidate to be able to research and be better prepared to give thoughtful answers. The same question will be answered by each candidate, and then the next question will be answered by the other candidate first, and so on. The candidate will be given the opportunity for a closing statement, not a rebuttal, in which a 3-minute time limit will be allowed. We do ask the candidates to be courteous to one another and try to stick to the topic of the question asked. All right, let's begin. The first candidates this evening are running for McIntosh County Clerk of Superior Court. Incumbent Carolyn Palmer and Miss Mandy Harrison. At this time, after I open this, please take up to 3 minutes for your opening statement, and Ms. Palmer, please do the same following Ms. Harrison. All right, these questions are sealed up here until now. And they are sealed again. Whoever did it, tell them they did a good job sealing these things up. Ms. Harrison, what adjustments?
Can you do my opening statement?
Let's go ahead and do the opening statement first.
I'm sorry.
3 minutes, please.
Thank you, Clay, and thank you all for having me this evening. My name is Mandy Harrison, and I'm running for McIntosh County Clerk of Superior Court. I have worked and lived in McIntosh County since 1998. I am married to McIntosh native Brian Riles, and we live in the north end of the county. I relocated here in 1998 from Orlando and fell in love not only with my husband but the community. Now when people ask me where I'm from, I proudly say I'm from McIntosh County because this is my home. I currently work at the Darien-McIntosh County Chamber of Commerce as the president. My work experience is mainly in customer service and management. The majority of that work experience was retail, but I transitioned into the chamber role after several years in retail. I am very experienced in high-stress situations as well as dealing with the public. I truly enjoy interacting with the public, and I have very strong communication skills. Again, my name is Mandy Harrison. I'm running for Clerk of Superior Court, and I would appreciate your vote on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, very good. Carolyn Palmer, your opening statement, please.
Hi, I want to thank you all for having me here this afternoon. My name is Carolyn Palmer. I am a citizen of McIntosh County. I've been here all my life. I am employed at the McIntosh County Clerk of Court office. I have been there since September 13, 2004. And I am married to Freddie Palmer. He's a retiree of Unicamp International Paper in Savannah, Georgia. And he's also he's on the board of directors for the Habitat for Humanity, and he is the chairman of the Red Cross Bloodhound Unit. And he is also, we have been married for 51 years. And I am employed, as I stated, at the McIntosh County Clerk's office. And I have been there, and I am doing an exemplary job there. And we are members of this community and county, and we do a great service for this county. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, on with our questions. Ms. Carolyn, this question is for you. What adjustments, changes, do you feel need to be made to the current operations in order to better serve the people of McIntosh County?
The adjustments and changes now for the McIntosh County, the citizens of McIntosh County, is that with the COVID-19, we have put in place first the safety for the public. We have e-filing for anyone to come in. If they want to e-file, they can e-file and don't have to come into the office and have contact with the people. And we also will be implementing to get credit card machines for our traffic department. That's a need. That's something that we really need because everyone called to pay their ticket. They want to pay with a debit or credit card. And we also will be implementing a drop box for anyone who want to drop off their documents to be filed. They will put it in the box and call us and let us go out there and pick it up. If they want it that day, we will do it that day for them while they're waiting in their car and call them when it's ready. And after that, if they don't want it that day, we'll call them and we get it ready. And that's what I would like to implement for this county. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison, what adjustments, changes do you feel need to be made to the current operations in order to better serve the people of McIntosh County?
Well, not having worked in that office, it's a little difficult for me to speak to the specifics. However, I do kind of have a little advantage with the job that I have now. I work for a board of directors, and with that board of directors comes new members every year that come in with fresh eyes. Those fresh eyes come in and they look at the processes that we have and they see how things are done, and they kind of help tweak things to make them run a little smoother, a little more efficient. I think if I'm elected as the Clerk of Superior Court, I could come into that office with those fresh eyes, look at the processes, and see what type of changes, if any, need to be made. I will tell you from a public's eyes, there might be an opportunity for more communication, maybe a more user-friendly website that will have schedules, jury information, forms, a form library for people to look up forms that they need for that office, as well as the way the process goes for things that are done in that office.
Thank you. All right, question number 2. Ms. Harrison, this will come to you first. What checks and balances do you plan to use to ensure as few errors as possible are made?
Good question. Again, not having worked in that office and not knowing all the processes, it's a little bit difficult for me to speak of specifics. However, anyone that has worked with me in the past knows that I'm extremely meticulous with things that leave my office or are a part of my office. So with that being said, if I was elected as Clerk of Superior Court, I could go in and see the processes, see what's going on, and see what type of checks and balances need to be put into place. I believe that a mistake coming out of my office currently now not only reflects on me and my office, but the entire community. So again, if I'm elected, that would be something that I would look at the processes and put some checks and balances into place that make sense and make the office run efficient.
Thank you. Ms. Palmer, what checks and balances do you plan to use to ensure as few errors as possible are made?
Well, right now, as we put different things into the computer, I would like to implement for my office, for the office for the Clerk of Court, do a think twice policy. After they have put whatever needs to go into the computer, I would like for them to look at it again. That means they think twice and see if there's any type error, because a type error can really hurt someone on their record. Thank you.
Very good. Ms. Palmer, this question will be to you. Do you feel that the court is fully utilizing its resources?
Yes, we are. We have case management and we have traffic. And with those 2 programs, we utilize everything that's in our office through those programs. And we have good resources, and we also have search terminals. We are utilizing those for the public can use those. And we also have online notary renewal. They can do that online and bring it in the office and renew their notary. That's one thing, resources we have that we are utilizing.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Harrison, do you feel that the court is fully utilizing its resources?
In regard to the Clerk of Superior Court's office, I do. I believe that they are utilizing the resources that they have available to them right now. As Ms. Palmer mentioned, they have case management, traffic, etc. I think there might be some other technology that can be looked into to see if there's a way to introduce that into that office to make it run a little more efficient.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison, this will come to you. What qualities do you possess that make you the best candidate?
I have very strong communication skills, both written and oral. I am a very organized person. I have a very strong work ethic. I believe that you work until you get the job done. I've got great leadership skills, and I believe in teamwork in order to work for the better good of the office or the department.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Palmer, what qualities do you possess that make you the best candidate?
Well, I have worked in the hospitality for 30 plus years, and I have worked at the Clerk of Court office for 16 years. And I know all the ups and downs in that office. I know the ins and outs in that office, and everything has to be done accordingly and efficiently. And also, that is what I have in place for that office.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Palmer, this will be to you. The largest part of the Clerk of Court's job is handling court records. What experience do you have managing confidential information?
managing confidential information. We put everything in the computer. And in that computer is a place in there, if we don't want the public to see anything, there's a check there that we can check to hide it. If when the public will search on the computer, they will not be able to see it. And everyone in the office knows everything in there is confidential and is not supposed to be put on Facebook or whatever form of talking they will do about anything in that office. We have to keep it confidential, and that's one of the main reasons is we have to express to all the employees, do not talk what goes on in the office in the street. When I leave the office, I leave my work there. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Harrison, the largest part of the clerk of court's job is handling court records. What experience do you have managing confidential information?
Thank you. In my work experience, again, the majority of my work experience has been in management. So I've handled a lot of sensitive information as far as personnel files, as far as credit card information in my retail years, and currently in my position, I handle confidential information as far as projects and things that can't be discussed outside. I'm very, very familiar with confidentiality and the need to keep sensitive information confidential.
Thank you. That concludes the 5 questions. Ms. Harrison, please take 3 minutes for a closing statement.
That was quicker than I thought. First, I want to thank everyone that's taking time to watch this evening. I'd also like to thank everyone involved in putting this forum together. I hope that my answers to the questions this evening have given you a little insight on who I am and why I'm running for office. Once again, my name is Mandy Harrison. I'm running for Clerk of Superior Court, and I'd appreciate your vote on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Palmer, please take up to 3 minutes for a closing statement.
My campaign slogan is integrity, trustworthy, and I'm using that in the Clerk of Court, Superior Court office also. And I will, the question?
Closing statement.
Oh, I'm sorry, my thought. And I will be proud to be elected as your Superior Court Clerk of McIntosh County.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you both for participating in tonight's forum. We're going to take a few minutes to do a little house cleaning, clean this up for the next group. We have a couple announcements here. The general election will take place on Tuesday, November 3rd from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at your voting precinct. You can vote early Monday through Friday, beginning Monday, October 12th through October 30th at the Board of Elections office in Darien. There will be a Saturday early voting day from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, October 24th. Welcome back, everyone. Our next candidates are running for the office of Sheriff of McIntosh County. Incumbent Sheriff Steve Jessup and Mr. Charles Chunk Jones. Welcome to you both this evening. At this time, Sheriff Jessup, please take up to 3 minutes for your opening statement, and then Mr. Jones, please do the same following Sheriff Jessup.
Good evening. I am Sheriff Steve Jessup, and I've served you as sheriff for the previous almost 12 years. When I came into office almost 12 years ago, the office of the sheriff and its facilities were in total disarray. We have remedied those problems. Today, the detention center is a highly functional operational facility with a highly trained staff. We have a highly trained patrol division that patrols our county 24 hours a day. Our command staff is second to none. All of our people have the training and the equipment that they need to do their jobs. When I was running for sheriff 12 years ago, I made a lot of promises, and I've kept every one of those promises. In addition, I've been accessible 24 hours a day. I very much would like to serve as your sheriff for another term, and I humbly ask you to make that possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Jessup. Mr. Jones, your opening statement, sir.
I am the former sheriff of McIntosh County, Charles Chunk Jones. We opened the jail back in 12 years ago. We opened this new jail. We bought and paid for jail in less than 3 years. We fully, what we did, we fully renovated this new building because it was sitting for almost a year. We bought all the furniture, all the fingerprint machines. We bought everything that's inside that jail today. A lot of commissioners voted for the jail, some did not vote for the jail. But everything was not disarray. Everything was in this jail facility. We had new computers. When I left, the new computers got thrown inside the side board, so therefore they bought used equipment from their telephone company. But when I left this office, the office was in perfect shape. The vehicles, I think I bought 6 or 7 brand new vehicles before I left. I didn't want to leave them to Sheriff Jessup in bad shape. I made sure he had all the new equipment that he could have when he took over this office. And thank you very much.
Thank y'all, gentlemen. All right, we have 5 questions. We're going to alternate who goes first on each question. On question number 1, Sheriff Jessup, this is going to be to you first, and we have 2 minutes to answer each question. Sheriff, what are your plans to increase and expand the types of training our officers receive?
We have 3 trained, certified instructors on staff. So we do most of our training in-house. The state of Georgia requires that all police officers take a 20 hours worth of training annually. Within those 20 hours, they have to take use of deadly force, cultural awareness, de-escalation, and community policing. We do most of our training in-house, but on occasion we allow our people to go outside the county to do training if it will enhance their job capabilities. For high and advanced training, we use the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center for things like pit maneuvers and high-speed chase. We also do training in mental illness preparation on a regular basis. I think that we meet all the capabilities that we need for training.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, what are your plans to increase and expand the types of training our officers receive?
All law enforcement officers need to be trained at a higher rate because of this new academic that we have into today's world. Not only in McIntosh County, but it's all over the United States. They have to be trained. They have to be trained by certified instructors within the state of Georgia. And this is where I use the deputies, which I had 7 certified deputies training, also built the pistol range to keep the deputies certified within McIntosh County, because we would have to go out to different counties. We also had to go out to Forsyth for DUI intoxicant training, but most of our local training was local. We used Flexit to help us with this pistol range. At one time, I had one of the, not the commissioner, one of the attorneys that was in charge of the county commissioner's office, told me I was building a shooting gallery. But let's shoot the guy to save the county some money. 30 seconds left. Thank you. That's enough.
Very good, sir. All right, Mr. Jones, this question will come to you first. How do you plan to continue to foster a positive relationship between our citizens and our law enforcement officers?
We will have our deputies stop, talk to people, interact with the citizens of this community, get information that we need or that they could use. Whenever they go into this community, they will have some assistance if there's no one there. We only had 2 road deputies on at all times. And either myself or the chief deputy will have to work if one of them is sick or one in school. And I was there almost 24/7. So we didn't have a problem of filling in these positions because we only had 17 people during that period of time.
Sheriff Jessup, how do you plan to continue to foster a positive relationship between our citizens and our law enforcement officers?
We operate with community policing within my office of the sheriff. We expect our officers to always do what's right and to present a positive image. We participate in school athletic functions, the Blessing of the Fleet, the Sheldon St. Patrick's Festival, and also the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade, all the while showing a positive influence from our department. We do a CHAMPS program in school for our 5th and 8th graders. It's a 10 to 12 week course that takes up classes. Some of them are drug awareness, home alone problems, ATV safety, hunter safety, and water safety. Our school resource deputies are highly trained to participate with our children every day and to give a positive role model response to everything they do. Everything that we do, we try to do right. Every now and then we get a bad apple in the basket. When we do get that bad apple, we get it out. We make mistakes, but we always correct that mistake and make sure it doesn't happen again. We enjoy being policemen. We care about this county, and we work every day to make this county a better place to live.
Thank you. Sheriff Jessup, this will come to you first. What additional support services would you like to see in McIntosh County?
Well, that's easy. We need more mental health services. The Southeast Georgia Regional Hospital and Gateway work with us hand in hand and do a great job, but we need more services closer to home. In addition, we need a real temporary safety net for those people who are traveling through our county and are homeless and get stranded.
Mr. Jones, what additional support services would you like to see in McIntosh County?
We will have to have a rehabilitation system for drug users in this county. We also like to have a lot of services for people that involved in this drug network, such as the heroin and the meth, the pills. It's all real bad now. We have several overdoses every month in this community, and it will have to stop. And for you to stop it, you have to enforce it.
Yes, sir. Mr. Jones, this is to you. What are your plans and ideas to reduce drug and drug-related crimes in McIntosh County?
We will have a drug unit, drug investigative unit. I trained a lot of young folks when I was there before. We didn't primarily just advertise how many people we arrest. We put the big men, the big ladies, or whoever involved, we send them to prison. And this is part of my program. You get the meth dealer, you get the heroin dealer, because they're making them 1.5 kilos every month. And just think about somebody's child overdosing, dying, leaving here sooner than expected. Somebody's wife, somebody's kids, somebody's grand. This has to be enforced. This has to stop. I'm sorry, but this has to stop. And for it to stop, I will have to train these youngsters to stop. I also will have the GBI, I will have the DEA, I will have the State Patrol, former state trooper. I will have all of them involved in this network for us to reduce and get rid of these drugs. Thank you.
Sheriff Jessup, what are your plans and ideas to reduce drug and drug-related crimes in McIntosh County?
We're going to continue to do what we've been doing for 12 years. And we're going to be aggressive in going after the drug dealers. We're going to use undercover operations just like we always have, and we're going to do heavy patrol 24 hours a day to be able to look at and find problem areas. We do a pre-trial intervention for those addicts that need and want and qualify for rehabilitation prior to going to court. We do this through our counselors, our courts, and private enterprise.
Thank you. Sheriff Jessup, this is going to be to you. What do you think is the most important skill of being a good sheriff?
It's leadership, leadership, leadership. And within that leadership, you have to have integrity, you have to have some management experience, you have to have transparency, and you have to be accessible. Sheriff has to be a man of high integrity. He has to be the role model for not only his employees, but also for the entire community. He has to demand that his employees always do what's right. And if they don't, he needs to take corrective action. Every day, every week, and every month, the sheriff has to fight for the soul of the community. Bid management is important because the sheriff handles a $5 million budget and 70+ employees. Without good management in handling this, the budget process can go awry. And then it will not only hurt the office of the sheriff, but it will hurt the governing authority's budget. Transparency is very important. You have to meet with the people when they come in with having problems. You have to answer your phone calls and return those calls you missed. You also have to treat everybody alike. There is no option to do otherwise. There are no secrets. The general public can come in and look at anything they wish to look at as long as it is okay by law. The only secrets that are possible within the office of the sheriff in its time of doing business is medical records, some employee records, and ongoing investigation. Accessibility is important, and the sheriff should be available 24 or be accessible 24 hours a day. I meet all these needs.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, what do you think is the most important skill of being a good sheriff?
Important skill is being a leader, transparency, training your new recruits or training your deputies that work for you. As past sheriff, I train a lot of deputies. They're in different locations, different position, but they're in a leadership role in another organization. Therefore, that tells me that I was doing a good job. Well, if you pay the deputy a good salary, you will be able to keep them. You'll be able to utilize them in different fields. You will be able to try to get pay raises for those deputies, for those communication officers, for those correction officers. You could have a professional police department. I will have those vehicles moving at all times, not stop and park in parking lots or park on the side of the road. The only way for you to do this, you have to get out there and see what they're doing. You have to be experienced to know what your deputy is doing or what they're not doing. Thank you.
Each candidate will now take 3 minutes for a closing statement. Mr. Jones, please start.
As you know, I'm Charles Chunk Jones. I've been the sheriff for 16 years. Not only here, I work as the City of Darien Police Chief. I work for the Georgia State Patrol. I work for the federal government. I was in the accident reconstruction. I trained all of my personnel how to work race because I didn't want to sit beside the road and wait on the state trooper for 45 minutes. So they was trained how to operate. I'm asking this community to go out and vote for me because I need your vote on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Sheriff Jessup, 3 minutes for a closing statement, please.
Most of the people of this county know me personally. Many of you have talked to me on the phone or met with me in my office or met with me out on the streets of our county. You know who I am, you know what I stand for, and you know how I will conduct business. You know that I'm accessible 24 hours a day. Your office of the sheriff has progressed greatly over the previous 11 and a half years. McIntosh County is safer and cleaner than it has ever been in its history, and there's money in the bank. We're no longer the laughingstock of South Georgia. Now is not the time to give our county back to the drug dealers and the outlaws. Vote for me on November 3rd and re-elect me, and we will all continue to work together to make McIntosh County a place we can be proud to call home. May God bless our county. Thank you.
Thank you both for participating in tonight's forum. Again, we're going to do a little bit of cleaning up here, reset it for our next set of candidates, and a few other little nuggets here. The last day to register to vote in the November 3rd general election is Monday, October the 5th. The District 4, this is a biggie, the District 4 South Newport voting precinct has been moved from Morgan's Chapel to the Shellman Bluff Volunteer Fire Department. The address of the fire department is 6572 Shellman Bluff Road. It's behind that dock in the box that's on Shellman Bluff Road. Thank you.
All right. Here we go. I'll count you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Our last participants this evening are running for County Commission District 2. We have incumbent Commissioner David Stevens and write-in candidate Mrs. Nikki Alford Glenn. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to ask Commissioner Stevens to please take up to 3 minutes for his opening statement, and then Ms. Alford Glenn to please do the same following Commissioner Stevens.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting this event and having us here tonight, and all those that are participating tonight, all those that are at home watching, thank you for taking an interest in our community and tuning in tonight. I am David Stevens. I'm 52 years old. I've lived in McIntosh County for 40 years. I have served the residents of District 2 and all of McIntosh County for 14 years as a District 2 Commissioner. I have been the chairman for the past 4 years. I have a beautiful wife, Jennifer, of 28 years, who is a registered pharmacist and a pharmacist manager at Southern Drug Company here in Darien, formerly Fred's, where she, like I said, she's been for 20 years. We have 3 incredible children. Amelia, who is 24, who just graduated with honors from the University of Georgia Law School, will be beginning her law career next week in Savannah, Georgia. We have a son, Matthew, who is 20 years old. He is a junior at Georgia Southern University in Statesboro, where he's majored in finance. And last but not least, but our youngest is Haley. She's 14 years old. She's a freshman at McIntosh County Academy here in Darien in McIntosh County. I do look forward to serving the community and the citizens of McIntosh County for the next 4 years. And your vote and support and prayers are greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stevens. Ms. Alford Glenn, 3 minutes, please.
My name is Nikki Alford Glenn. I do want to thank everyone for participating in this and getting this out to the public. And I hope that y'all will take these issues seriously that we are facing in our community. I'm 42 years old, and I've been a lifelong resident of McIntosh County. My family has been here for generations. I know all about McIntosh County, thankfully. My dad raised me hunting and fishing and doing all the great, wonderful things that we have in this county. I'm intimately familiar with District 2, which is the district that we're running for, and that's where I grew up. My grandfather was instrumental in developing a great portion of District 2, Blunt's Crossing area, and he started the water system that's in use today. I've been researching on my own for the last couple of years the SPLOST and also our county budgets, and we are wasting money. I just hope that people will know that this is the first time that I've ever ran for office. I'm not a politician, but I do love this county, and I think that we can do a lot better with the right leadership, and we need transparency and accountability. Thank you.
Thank you both. All right, I have a series of 5 questions here. We're going to alternate who goes first on each question. You'll have up to 2 minutes to answer the question. So Commissioner Stevens, the first question is going to go to you. Do you feel the current EMS contract is beneficial to McIntosh County, and why?
Absolutely. The current EMS contract was much needed. It was much overdue. The EMS budget had blossomed into a $1 million budget. The revenue generated from transports through collections were roughly $225,000 to $250,000 a year. That leaving a $750,000 gap in the EMS budget. I'm not saying that EMS needed to generate a profit or even break even. It's a much needed service that comes at a cost. There was no need in having that big of a deficit in there. It had become a personnel nightmare. We have some of the best in the industry that work for McIntosh County before and now, but unfortunately we had some of the worst. When we decided to privatize EMS and go out for bid, we had 2 responses. Grady, which is now calling themselves South Georgia EMS Service, came back as the winning bid. We saved the taxpayers over $350,000, improved the quality of the service, retained our better employees, and thank goodness, weeded out the bad eggs. I do not feel like with this new contract with Grady and South Georgia EMS that I will have to deal with workplace sexual harassment again, nor will I have to deal with pornography being manufactured on the job. I'm very proud of this contract, and it will prove to be a much better service than before for the citizens of McIntosh County.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ms. Alford Glenn, do you feel the current EMS contract is beneficial to McIntosh County and why?
This is something that I've recently started researching. I have family members and friends throughout the state, and Grady, the new name I'm not familiar with, also services their areas. They're having some similar issues that I'm hearing from the citizens, that we're not having 2 ambulances in our county at all times, like that's in the contract. And the counties that my friends and relatives are in are having the same problem, that they can't get staff to come into work. There's always going to be personnel issues, whether it's with the county or whether it's with another company. Saving money is good, and I want to save money, and we need to be responsible for how we're spending the taxpayers' dollars. But I believe safety should be at the very top, and we shouldn't cut any corners with that. There's always room for improvement with anything, but I believe that our first responders, including our fire department, they really need some help with their finances to make sure that all of the residents in McIntosh County are safe.
Thank you. Ms. Alford Glenn, this is going to go to you first. How will you address the current drainage issues throughout McIntosh County?
Well, we got to get these ditches flowing, the first thing, and that goes back to having the proper equipment. It also goes back to having the employees trained to know how to use that equipment. I know it's a county-wide issue, but I'm more familiar with District 2, again, because that's where I grew up. The first thing I want to know about Blunt's Crossing is when and how did some of those ditches become private property? I used to be a property owner over there, and when I was a property owner, my property line stopped at the ditch. The ditch was not private property. And I know this for a fact because I have a piece of property, and also the state prisoners would come in and clean it out. So I don't know where that changed, but it definitely needs to be addressed. If it indeed is private property, again, we need to have the employees trained with the right equipment, and we need to work with the private landowners that desperately want these ditches cleaned out. And it's a several step process. We have to clean the ditches out, number one. We have to agree that that the workers can go on private property. But we also have to educate the citizens that they can't just throw everything in the ditch. If they're cutting down a tree, they don't need to throw it in there. So it needs to be a community effort. It needs to be everybody working together on it. And I think we can get it fixed with a little bit of training and a little bit of help from the citizens that are in great need, especially off of Blunt's Crossing, in great need of getting those ditches cleaned out.
Commissioner Stevens, how will you address the current drainage issue throughout McIntosh County?
We address drainage issues every day. Staff works on it. We work with our engineers. Our road department employees are constantly cleaning ditches, pulling pipes. But what people have to understand is in a lot of these problem areas, number one, they may be state ditches, they may be state pipes, they may be private property. The county does not own all these ditches. We don't have access and easements. The ones that we do, we address. There are some of the bigger ones that we had easements to, that people have built fences, they've built sheds, you're not coming on my property, and the access is now very limited. But we work on this every day. We work with the state every day. We've had 4 years of 3 years of hurricanes. We've had a lot of rain lately. These low-lying areas do flood. When we see them, we address them. We're working on the big ditch that drains the entire Whispering Pines area. We've got some state and federal funds that we've applied for. The T-SPLOST has passed. There's money in that for drainage. These issues that were financial issues, these ditches that were financial issues in the past, will be addressed through the passage of this T-SPLOST and with state and financial assistance. What people have to understand, it is against the law to put county equipment and employees on private property. In the good old days, you called JW, you called Judge Schuman, you called whoever, and they said, yeah, go clean it out. We don't live in the good old days anymore. You got to do things by the book. We get access and easement, we clean them, and we will address these bigger issues now that the funds are available.
Commissioner Stevens, this will come to you first. What is your position on future commercial growth and development in McIntosh County?
My position on future commercial growth and development in McIntosh County, I think my record speaks for itself. I am pro-growth all the way. I work with community leaders, business leaders, developers. I meet with them all the time. I support their projects when it makes sense. We work with our staff. We work with the Industrial Development Authority to support these type of ventures, but we have to look, not every project that comes into town, not every development that comes into town is right for McIntosh County. We live in a very fragile and environmentally sensitive area. We have to see what fits and works for us. But as my record will show, I am pro-growth, and when it's the right project for McIntosh County, Commissioner Davis Stevens has never not supported it.
Ms. Alford Glenn, what is your position on future commercial growth and development in McIntosh County?
I think it's definitely needed, and there is a comprehensive plan that was done several years ago. And I think we have everything that we need. It's basic common sense. We have a gold mine right here. We have a beautiful, diverse ecosystem that we are fortunate enough to live in the middle of, and we need to take advantage of it. The Omaha River is on the Natural Conservancy's list of 75 of the last great places in the world. That's not state, that's not the country, that's the world. It's right here in our back door. That needs to be promoted with the right promotion, with the right managers in place, the right leadership with this. We can have people coming for hunting, for fishing, for boating, kayaking. It's endless. We get the people here, they're loving the ecosystem, our rivers, our beauty, our history. We're the second oldest city in the state. We have so much history here. We have so much to offer. We start promoting that. The people will come. The visitors will be here. They will be staying in the bed and breakfast. They'll be staying in local motels. The VRBOs. They get to know the local people. They start eating our seafood. It's the best seafood in the world. Our restaurants are busy. That's clean money because those people aren't going to be here, but just a little while and spend their money. And then it's just a trickle snowball effect. We get the people here for tourism, which is exactly what the plan that we paid for, that we need to implement. And it's just a snowball effect. The tourists come, they spend money, and everything else will grow around it. But we need to have a responsible development plan, not this sporadic, condos here, and no parking, and gas stations, and old dilapidated houses. It needs to be consistent, and we need to have a plan for future, and we need to stick to our ordinances that are put in place.
Ms. Alford Glenn, this is going to come to you first. When elected, what are the top 3 issues you would address?
Transparency. It's absolutely ridiculous to try to get information on budgets or finances. As of about 3 o'clock this afternoon, the last budget that was posted on the McIntosh County website was from 2014. That's absolutely ridiculous in this day and age of computers that, things should be right there at our fingertips, one click away. And accountability. We have a huge issue in this county with, people are responsible for certain things and they're just not getting done. And that's a huge thing, especially for me, especially all the things that I've had to go through for this election. And communication, we've got to bridge the gap with this whole community. If we want to grow, want to prosper, we've got to get together. We've all got to get our ideas together, all of our talents. We're all unique in our own way, and we've got to get the communication and have a great open communication with our leaders and our voters.
Commissioner Stevens, what are the top 3 issues you would address?
The top 3 issues that I would address, and there's probably not enough time to go through all 3 of them, and I'm going to do my best. I don't care who you are, if you're a citizen, if you're an elected official, if you're a candidate, the number 1 issue facing McIntosh County in the next few years is solid waste. We have the last unlined landfill in the state of Georgia that's still operational. We have 3 to 5 years of capacity left. Don't mistake the solid waste landfill with the C&D landfill that we just opened. We have years and years. We will not fill that landfill up in my lifetime. The solid waste landfill is coming to a head and it's coming quick. It's going to take millions of dollars to close it and maintain it going forward. Regardless whether we seek land and permits to build a new one, or whether we build a transfer station and ship it out of county, our solid waste, once this landfill is full, it's going to cost 2 to 3 times of what we're paying today for solid waste. That is our biggest challenge. Everybody better prepare for it because it's coming and it's coming fast. The C&D landfill is operating at a profit. That money is going in an account and it will be used for closure and or create building and construction of a new landfill or a transfer station. Number 2 is infrastructure. As I said earlier, the T-Splost is passed. We know we have roads that are in dire need of repair. The Steel Bridge Road is being engineered and designed now. That'll be our first project through the T-Splost. We know we have ditches and drainage to go after. With the T-Splost, we now have the funds to go after that, other than how we've been doing it on just a routine basis. The last and not least is employee benefits and salaries. Healthcare, I don't care if you're with the government, private enterprise, or whatever, people are faced with healthcare issues every day, the rising costs and the lack of coverage. We have got to stay on top of our healthcare. We bid it out every 3 to 4 years. We have got to look at our salaries of our employees and what surrounding governments are paying so we can hire and retain qualified employees.
Commissioner Stevens, our final question will go to you first. What do you see as the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects in McIntosh County?
Again, the infrastructure is the roads that will be, hopefully, we'll start seeing those roads. I know we will, because the T-Splost is now in effect. It's being collected. We've built some money up. We will start paving these roads, doing these sidewalks that were identified in the paper and on the referendum when people voted for T-Splost. The next items I'd like to see as far as capital projects is the committee is met, the engineering and design is done. We should be breaking ground on the renovation and remodeling and construction of our Welcome Center out at the Wendy's building, out at the mall. I'd like to see that break ground soon. I know there was a meeting last week and that should be breaking ground. There should be an announcement on that soon. We have the recreation complex that I hope will break ground in the voters voted for that in the last SPLOST, the last 2 SPLOST. Hopefully we'll see that recreation complex breaking ground in the next year. Another capital project that we should see right away is the new fire station on South Willow Island. That's another SPLOST item that has been that was identified and voted on by the voters. So those 3 capital projects is the ones I'd like to see in the near future, and continue just to work on this infrastructure, get those T-Splost roads going, get these drainage issues settled.
Ms. Alford Glenn, what do you see as the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects in McIntosh County?
Definitely our roads. That's something that's been a problem basically my whole adult life. We need to grow, we need to do it responsibly, and depending on which direction our growth goes, whether it's tourism or a ballpark, that's going to depend on what infrastructure we need to invest in. There's got to be some big changes, and it's got to happen fast. I'm afraid we're going to be in a lot of debt that we're going to tax our citizens just out of here. David definitely has more experience and more information on some of these projects, which I can't answer because some of that is privy to him in executive session. So, whatever direction the county is going in for development, to be prosperous, to make money, that's where we need to spend our money for the infrastructure.
Thank you, candidates. That was the question portion. Each candidate will now have up to 3 minutes for a closing statement. We're going to begin with Ms. Alford Glenn, followed by Commissioner Stevens.
Again, I'd just like to thank everybody for tuning in and watching this, and if you have any questions further, I'll be glad to answer them. I always want to have an open communication with everyone in the community. We have got to work together. We cannot have this division. We have got to save our county as far as our beauty. We've got to plan, and we've got to plan for the future. We need to make sure that our growth is headed in the right direction. And above all, just remember that I've never ran for office. I've got a lot to learn, and I've already learned a lot on my own, and I'm willing. My daughter's in college, so I have free time to give back to the community, and I'm ready. And I just hope and pray that the decisions that all of us will make will be for the benefit of the whole county.
Commissioner Stevens, 3 minutes for a closing statement.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I think the choice is clear. I think it's real clear. You have two people up here tonight, a third one that chose not to come. Two totally different visions of government and the direction of this county. I'm an open book. I've been between the Development Authority and the County Commission. I've been serving McIntosh County government for 18 years now. People see how I lead, people see how I govern, they see how I manage. So there's no questions about me in the direction that I'd like to see this county go, in the direction that we've taken it. Unfortunately, recently, in the last 2 or 3 days, allegations of racism have entered this race. Do I think my opponent is a racist, a devout racist? No, not at all. I know she's not. But I can tell you this. We have been involved in a federal lawsuit for years now, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, where there has been alleged racism and racial discrimination occurring in McIntosh County. I could not imagine what a lawyer, a judge, or a jury would do if McIntosh County Commission had a commissioner serving this county with the allegations, the pictures and the videos that have come out. It would not be pretty. They would have a field day with us. I'm proud of the decisions we've made. We've made some tough decisions over the years. The decisions are now paying off. This county is more financially sound than it has ever been in my lifetime. I love it when our auditors come to town and say, we wish every government that we audit was in good a shape as McIntosh County. We've built a reserve. That reserve has been used in the last 3 or 4 years as $5 million. We have money in the bank. That money has been used for storm cleanup through 3 hurricanes, and it has been used to bridge the gap during this pandemic for budget shortfalls. No budget shortfalls, but revenue shortfalls. Again, I think we've made the right decisions. I think this county's headed in the right direction. I know it is a cleaner, safer, better place to live than when I first took office. I look forward to continue the work we've done and to make it the best place on this coast to live, work, and play. Thank you. Your prayers and your vote would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you both for participating in tonight's forum. Thank you all for coming tonight, and thank you to the candidates for participating. Again, thank you to the City of Darien for allowing us to host this event in Darien City Hall, and thank you Darien Communications for airing this event live and for videotaping it to air on Local Access Channel 18. Again, dates and times of when it can be viewed will be posted as soon as they are available. The last day to register to vote in this election is October 5th. We encourage all the registered voters to get out and vote. Early voting begins on October 12th and will continue until October 30th at the Board of Elections, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Election Day is November 3rd. Thank you all very much.